Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to this week's Monday message. My name is Phil Herman, and I'm Superintendent of Hudson City School District. Last week, we were able to complete our first full week of remote learning within the Hudson City Schools, and I want to thank our students, our parents, our teachers for their engagement, their enthusiasm, their effort, their creativity, their problem solving as they work together to make the first week a real success. Many of you shared stories under the hashtag #WeAreHudson on Twitter or on Facebook, and I would encourage you to keep those stories coming. We greatly appreciate seeing your successes as the week goes on. We had beautiful weather this past weekend, and hopefully you were able to get outside and enjoy it a little bit. I had the opportunity to take a ride with my son Hayden, who is turning 16 in a couple weeks and is anxious to get his driver's license, so he's getting some practice hours in. And when we were taking that ride, I was thinking about my dad and teaching my brothers and my sister and me about driving and the things that he did to make sure that we were successful. One of the things he always asked us is, do you have a map? Do you have an atlas in your car? And when I was growing up, this will date me a little bit, but we didn't have GPSs built into the dashboard, and we certainly didn't have Waze or Google Maps on our phone. What we did have was the Ohio Road Atlas with every road and every county in the state of Ohio, and that's how we would determine where we were going and sometimes how to get home. And then I began to think about the times when I didn't always have a map, and one of those that came to mind was when my wife Lisa and I were in Aruba for our honeymoon, as a matter of fact. And so we had rented a little Suzuki Jeep, and we wanted to go see a landmark in Aruba called Rockbridge. And so we took off in our Suzuki Jeep, and we actually were able to follow the directions that had been given to us pretty well, and made it over to see Rockbridge and checked out that landmark and enjoyed the afternoon together. Then on the way back, we were pulling out of the parking lot, and Lisa asked me, do you know how to get back to the hotel? And I said, oh, sure, I've got no problem. And we headed out of the parking lot and came to a fork in the road, and I went the way that I thought we were supposed to go, and then another fork in the road, and then an intersection, and I was pretty certain that I could find my way back. And Lisa began to question me a little bit and said, are you sure you know where we're headed? And I said, no problem. Look, the ocean's right there. I think when we come around this turn, we're going to be right back on the main road where all the hotels are. And we came around the turn after about 30 minutes of driving, and we pulled right back into the parking lot of Rockbridge. So Lisa and I had to try again to get back to the hotel. And this time we had to use better communication, not just rely on my sense of direction, but to communicate with one another about the direction that we thought we needed to be going. We had to have deliberate trial and error, where we would come to an intersection and we'd say, we know we've already been to the right, let's go forward. And as soon as we went forward, sometimes we would say, oh, we've been through this intersection, and we throw that little Suzuki Jeep in reverse and go back and then try a different direction. And we had to build a map of how to get back to our hotel so that if we came to that area again, we'd know which way to go. Over the recent weeks, I have wished so badly that we had a COVID-19 map, that we had a roadmap of all the decisions we needed to make in regard to remote learning and how to best set our students up for success and how to respond to this pandemic. But I know that we don't, and so we're going to utilize communication, and we're going to utilize deliberate trial and error, and we're going to try to build that map together with our community members, our parents, our students, and our teachers in order to best serve our students in the weeks ahead moving forward. So here are some updates from our map that we are continuing to develop. First of all, state testing. State testing typically takes place in the spring. House Bill 197 eliminated mandated state testing for the 2019-20 school year. So our students in grades 3 through 8 will not have their annual reading, math, or science tests, and our high school students will not be participating in their end of course exams for Algebra 1, Geometry, Biology, English 10, American History, or American Government. What about the third grade reading guarantee? For current third grade students, the third grade guarantee provision requiring all third grade students to meet a certain score to be eligible to move to fourth grade has been eliminated for the 2019-20 school year. Grading. Grading is a question that comes up quite a bit. We've been talking with many other school districts about how they're handling fourth 9 weeks. We've been looking for guidance from the State Department of Education. And so watch for updates from the principals this week. We certainly want to provide meaningful feedback to our students and honor the work that they are completing. At the same time, our goal is to be compassionate, to be responsive, and to be fair to our students in a really unprecedented time. So again, watch for those updates coming this week from our principals about fourth quarter grading. Asynchronous learning and synchronous learning. We are learning about and we are witnessing the benefits of both asynchronous and synchronous learning. Teachers are going to continue posting assignments, providing videos, assigning texts, and receiving assignments in an asynchronous environment, not necessarily a live face-to-face environment with our students. At the same time, teachers are also going to be scheduling class sessions, small group sessions, or sometimes individual work with students through Zoom in a synchronous real-time environment. So watch for those communications from teachers about their schedules and about connecting with our students. Check out the remote learning page on our district website, and there you can find information on the frequently asked questions page about questions that have been coming in and the answers particularly regarding remote learning. For food service, last week we continued to prepare and distribute meals to any family requesting that. And we would encourage you, if you need assistance, you do not have to be on a free and reduced lunch program. Again, reach out to Kim Saborik, our nutrition and food service supervisor, at 330-653-1208 and sign up for that service. Right now, the distribution is on Monday and Wednesday from 10 to 1. And then we will be transitioning next week for the safety of our families and for our food service staff to just Mondays, and we'll be providing a week's worth of meals for families who would like that assistance starting next Monday. The weather was beautiful, as I mentioned before, this past weekend. It's getting warmer, it's getting nicer and outside, and I would just really encourage you and your students and your children to get outside, to go for a walk, go for a run, go for a bike ride, play a game in the backyard, do some work out on the porch or a patio. In terms of schoolwork can take place outside. It's so important during these times of stress. New research from Cornell that was published just in January found that as little as 10 minutes in a natural setting can help students feel happier and lessen the effects of both physical and mental stress. So please take advantage of getting outside. Students and parents, please communicate with your teachers. Do not hesitate to reach out to the resources in the school district and ask questions, provide feedback, talk to our administrators, reach out to them as well. We want that feedback. We want that two-way communication, just as it was so important when we were trying to build that map to get back to our hotel in Aruba. It's so important now as we build this map for remote learning. Reminder that there is no school this Friday, April 10th. We are a school holiday scheduled for Friday, April 10th, so there will be no scheduled classes or assignments on Friday, April 10th. And with that, I want to thank you again for tuning in. Thank you for your support, and I look forward to talking to you again next week.